Well, hello, everyone. Um, so I'm going to start today with a little quote that I love from Yogi Tea. You see my little Yogi Tea. I would imagine some of you get Yogi Tea, but they always have little sayings on them. And I just thought this was so sweet. And it says, "Smiling is the most basic kind of peace work." And we don't just have to smile when we greet each other, or maybe when were reading and we read something funny or whatever. We can also just smile for the heck of it during our yoga practice, when we're going for a walk, etc., etc. So today I am also going to start with some of our qigong that we've been starting with. Um, So chi is the universal energy that surrounds us. It really could easily be translated as energy, because without without energy, nothing would exist. We get the energy from the sun, we get the energy from the earth, from the seas, from the trees, from the flowers and the bees. Energy surrounds us and fills us. So we can just think of chi that way. And the way I would like to start out is by first really bringing a sense of relaxation into our bodies. We can do this actually by gently shaking and just letting loose. So I like to start with my hands because they're almost the easiest things to bring that sense of relaxation into, just like little rubbery appendages at the end of our arms. They really easy. And so feel how that you can really make your hands nice and relaxed. And then see if you can start by maybe bringing it more into your arms and then your shoulders and the rest of your body, and just move in any way. Maybe let your kind of move up and down a little bit, side to side. Just see if you can bring the looseness, become little Gumbies. Just shake. And it's kind of like we're shaking out what we don't need. And with most of the movements that we do with qigong and so that we can slow it down, but still with the feeling of looseness. Actually, you know what? I used to do an exercise with my son, where, let me see if I can show you. Let's see. Like I would put my hand. He would be lying down, and I'd say, just let your hand be effortless, or your arm. Just bring no resistance into your arm, and I would pick it up and let it drop down. And you can almost do this to yourself. And this is kind of the looseness that we want to feel in our bodies. So it's like you drop the arm, you pick up your lower arm and just let it drop down. And this is the difference. So this is no resistance. You can see it. This is when you're using a little bit of resistance. It kind of hesitates for a moment because you're holding on to your muscles. So this could be a nice way to kind of tell if we're holding on to anything. And right there, I was holding on a little bit. So I lift it up, boom, just let it drop down. It's something that you could play with. Anyway, so I feel like this is one of the most wonderful things that we can do for ourselves, is to really allow our bodies to relax. Okay, so from here, we'll just start by swaying. And first, we'll just sway through our spine, like we have the spinal column, which just turns from side to side. And let our arms not move at all, except that the body is moving the arms, kind of like we already felt a little bit, maybe. And then we can bring a little bit of action into our arms by maybe swaying a little more and bending our arms at our elbows, but maybe keeping that smile on our face. Maybe tapping our body. But when we tap our bodies, we get different areas, different organs, like the liver on the right side, the spleen, stomach on the, on the left side, and then in the back, the kidneys. And if you bend your front elbow a little bit more, you get the lungs. Just feel that sense of ease here. We're going to slowly come on back to a more neutral position. And now, almost like the side of our body, like the, this is an image I heard in a class I took the other day. The side of the body is like an accordion. So we're going to let the accordion come together with, you know, how you bring it together and the other side expands, expansion and contraction. So contraction, expansion, contraction, expansion. So when you contract the right side of your body, the head goes over to the right. When you expand the left side of your body, the head goes over to the right. And when you expand one side of your body, say the left side, you press your foot into the ground. Just go back and forth, kind of almost like a little bit of a sway. We're getting a nice lateral stretch. And then if you want to bring your arms in, almost like a dance. The arms come up on the side that we're expanding. And the heel will lift on the opposite side, on the contracting side. And just sway back and forth gently and easily. Nice. And then we'll slow it down. Easy does it. And come on back to center. And now we can just tap our bodies with our fingers curled gently. And I start over on the opposite side. It doesn't matter which side you start on. So if you're tapping with your right hand, you can start as far over to your left as you can reach. It'll be harder for some of us to reach than others. And then we'll turn our palm up to the sky and tap down to the fingertips. And you can tap as gently or as vigorously as it feels right for you. And then tap the other side, the front body. So we're getting the organs, we're getting the chi moving around. The idea with the chi is that stagnant chi is where we can have an injury or maybe disease might start. So we want to keep that chi flowing. So let's get our head, our scalp, getting down into the brain a little bit here. And then we'll come around and get the back of our body. The tush. And then I like to come up the kidney channel, which is on either side of the spine. So we come down the kidney channel and to the outside of our legs and up the inside of our legs. And then we'll come down the back side of our legs. And from our toes all the way up to the groin here. And then we can tap the groin. And then we'll flick our hands. And evidently this point helps, the little flick that we do here, it stabilizes the emotions, and it also is good for the heart. So we'll flick our hands a little bit. And my Tai Chi teacher told me that in traditional Chinese medicine hospitals, they have the patients do this 100 times every day. We're not going to do it 100 times. But okay, so now the next time we come forward, we'll lift up our heels, and then as we flick back, the heels will come down to the ground. And then we'll bring some movement into all of our joints here. This is called Weeping Willow Greets the Morning Mist. Just rotating really gently and carefully your head around your neck and shoulders, going in one direction and then reversing direction. And like I like to mention that you will hear some sounds, and that's perfectly normal. Some I feel like I should become a sound effects person. And then rotate your shoulders around and around one way, and then the other. Open them up, using your shoulder blades to open it. Really open up that front body. And then hands go, palms facing up and then down. Oh, and I remember to keep your knees soft, straight but soft, not locked. And we'll circle our hips around and around in one way, and then the other. Hula hoop hips. And I'll step back a little bit, and we'll get our knees. So warm up those knees, and then go around and around in one way, and then around and around and around the other way, and then circle them out in different directions. One way, and then the other. And then just glide them forward and back, and forward and back, forward and back. We're gonna, and now we'll get our feet. I do these every day. I think this is so good for our joints. So if you need help with balance, make sure you have something close by to keep you stable. And also, all of these you can do as you're sitting. And then just circle your ankle, your foot around your ankle and big toe in both directions. And then we will come on forward and circle around in both directions. And then we go up and down like we're pointing and flexing the foot, and going side to side to side, and shake it on out. And then the other side. And I know I've said this before in the class, but our toes are really important. So remember, when you're finished a shower or a bath, dry between your toes. Try to keep and even if you're watching television, you can put your fingers between your toes and sort of massage that area. Okay, and then shake that out. Okie doke. And now we'll work on our hands. I think, so this in particular, I remember hearing, oh dear, I could have a phone call. I'll have to turn it off, call back later. So here we go. And then interlace the hands. This one in particular is called anti-arthritis QiGong, but I really think all of these are really good to move the energy around our joints. And then tap and tap the baby finger side of the hands, and then the inside of the hands. Then we'll take that the curled fingers again, and we want to tap the thumb, fingers, and palm of the hand, the front and the back. And of course, both hands, front and the back. And then we take our five-pointed tap. Or in Tai Chi, this is called an eagle's beak. The front and the back, of course. And then we'll get the webbing between each finger with the baby finger of the opposite hand, keeping that sense of relaxation though. So you don't want it stiff, you want it straight but relaxed. Gentle can be just as effective as, if not maybe even more effective. Of course, both hands. And then, we're going to get between the thumb and the fingers. And this is another big acupressure point that's related to pain. If you have a headache, sometimes you can help the headache by massaging that webbing right there between the thumb and the fingers. And then we'll get the backs of the hands. Okay, and then we're gonna massage it out. And it's like we're gonna massage out just the chi that we don't need. And it's kind of like we're gonna bring in the chi that's good for us. But you get down and feel what's going on. And with all of these, if you feel little pain, maybe as you're massaging your hands, revisit that anytime during your day when you think of it. Even while we're watching television is a good time to revisit some of these things, or when we're just sitting quietly. Hopefully we all do that from time to time. Okay, and then shake it on out. And then we'll give ourselves our little facial. So double knuckles, starting around the third eye point and smoothing out the forehead from the eyebrow, from the third eye to the temple, and then from the eyebrows up to the hairline. The sacred terrace. Forehead is called the sacred terrace. Some of these movements of the way we talk about the body in Qigong is so poetic, and Tai Chi too. So then circle around your temples in both directions, above the ears in both directions, and in front of the ears. And then we get the good old jaw joint. And then you can either continue with your double knuckles or your fingertips, whatever feels best for you. Getting the face, the nose, around the mouth. Oh, in front of, I forgot this part, the front and back of the ears, the middle finger in front, index finger in back, and then you can massage the inner and outer, the back and front, I should say, of the outer ear. And again, just notice what's going on there. And then let's come around. Let's do the jaw. Fingers on top, thumbs underneath. Trace the jaw down from the jawbone, the joint down to the chin, the jawbone. And then we'll do the whole scalp. So just let your fingertips go around your scalp. And then I like to get under the occipital ridge. And you can feel that's the very base of the skull there, and kind of lift it up. And then on either side of the cervical spine. uh, giving our, this is so important. Self-care is so important. It really is what adds to self-healing. It's a way that we can really help nurture ourselves and maybe even heal ourselves. And then we'll just dust off what no longer serves us. Maintain, keeping the chi. The chi is so wise, it knows where to go. When we dust off, like I said, the chi that no longer serves us, but we keep the chi that we need. Obviously, because without chi, we wouldn't be here. That's body without chi is a body that's made its transition. Okay, so now we're going to gather up chi. So with that feeling of relaxation, your feet are about hip distance apart or maybe a little wider, whatever feels best for you. And the knees are soft. Arms are straight, but not rigid. So comfortably straight, same thing with the hands. Fingers are straight, but not rigid. So we have that sense of ease, of relaxation. So just take a moment to really allow your body to relax. And almost as if we are on a beach, say, looking out at the vast expanse of the ocean, gather up the chi, the energy from the earth, and the energy from the beautiful heavens, and bring it right down into our body. We can just continue to do that, thinking of that beauty of the earth, the beauty of the sky, of the universe. Beautiful. And even the unconditional love, the chi of unconditional love, and we bring it into our body, nurturing us. That wise chi going to the areas where it is needed. And peace. The yin, feminine, the divine feminine, and the yang, divine masculine. Feminine principle related to the moon in our sky, in our solar system, and the masculine related to the sun energy. And bring it in. Just for the last 3 times, we'll do this silently, just feeling that beautiful energy. Last time, just feel it. Maybe you can feel it in your hands. It'll come into your body and you just rest it right on the dantian. Hold it there. Maybe closing our eyes down so we can feel that beautiful energy just circulate around our body. Very nice. Okay, and so now we'll start the yoga part of our class. And I would like to just start it, I'm opening up my mat here, by doing a couple sun salutations, I think. No, let's see, let me get up here a little bit like that. Okay, so our sun salutations. So our bodies are kind of have felt that movement and have felt the chi running, moving through us. And actually, what I'd like to do with our sun salutations, you'll find out. Surprise. So let's bring our hands into our prayer pose. And just again, but with a relaxed feeling. Or actually start with a relaxed feeling, and then we'll bring a little bit of muscular action, like pressing our hands together, pushing our feet down into the earth, keeping our shoulders relaxed, but pulling back on the shoulder blades. Really open the front body. And then relax it all, staying in the same position, just relaxing that all. And then we'll inhale our arms like we're gathering up the chi again, gathering up the prana, called prana in yoga, and bringing it all the way down, going into a forward fold. So fold from the groin, letting the heart lead, come down as far as feels comfortable, and then hands on shins or thighs, and lift up into our flat back, into our tabletop. And then exhale, fold a little deeper, bend your knees, and step back with your right foot. Over to the other side. Step back with your right foot, and let's let that right knee rest. So this is a little variation on sun salutation. So let your right knee come to the ground, and we'll rock forward, then rock back, and scoot that front foot forward as far as it feels comfortable for you, and lift up your toes. So this is half split, half Hanumanasana, and press your heel down into the earth, and you'll feel a nice stretch in the back of your leg. And then we'll rock forward and curl the back toe under again, lift up that knee, and bring our arms behind us so our body is kind of like a diagonal line from the head down to the heel, and then we'll sweep on up into crescent pose, high crescent pose. And from here, pull your feet apart, reach your hands up to the earth, maybe doing a gentle back bend, really engage the muscles, and then keeping the body in the same position, relax into this. Relax your muscles, relax the good old facial muscles. Relax the shoulders, relax the arms, even though they're going straight up to the sky. Relax your legs. And then we'll sweep on down and come back into down dog, back to down dog. But we'll start with down dog, bending our knees and pushing our fingers and our thumbs into the mat so that you don't feel any pressure on your wrists at all. So it's mostly the fingers and thumbs. Even the hands aren't really lifting up. The wrist, it might be touching the ground, but there's no pressure on the wrists. Now, press your heels a little bit to the ground, and then start tilting your tailbone upward to straighten your legs. And breathe. And then from here, we'll just look on up at our hands and step, walk, or maybe you can jump up to your hands and inhale halfway. This is tabletop or Ardha Uttanasana, which means half forward fold. And then we'll go into full Uttanasana, full forward fold. And then either bending the legs or keeping them straight, come all the way up and back and down. And then we'll come on over. Hands down. Nice. Beautiful. Come over and we'll do it on the left now. So we'll inhale out and up, looking towards the sky. Exhale, swan dive forward this time. Then inhale halfway. Exhale, deepen. Bend your knees, step back with your left foot, and let that left knee come on the ground. So we'll rock back, not coming all the way to our heel necessarily, unless that feels really right for you, it feels good for you. And then we'll rock forward, stretching out the quadricep. And then we'll rock back again. And this time, let the front leg, the right leg come forward. Lift up the toes, getting that leg as straight as you can. Lifting up the toes. Then press the heel down. And pull back on the hip. Half Hanumanasana. Hanuman Samaki. Walk across continents. So this pose is in honor of Hanuman. And then rock forward. Maybe scoot your foot in a little tiny bit so that when you lift up your back leg, you're in a nice stable position. So lift up the back leg and we'll come with our arms behind us and then sweep our arms up over our head into crescent pose. And so again, let's just really muscle into this a little bit. So we'll press our feet down, point up, look up towards the sky, spreading our fingers out, even maybe pointing the ring finger up a little higher, looking up to the sky. And then, so we're really engaging our muscles, pulling our feet close to each other, towards each other, and then release it all. Relax, keeping in the same position. And feel how different it feels. Both ways, of course, are good for us. And then we'll sweep our hands down by our front foot and step back into down dog with our knees slightly bent and tilting our tailbone upward into full down dog. And make sure that your fingers are, most of the weight is on the fingers and the pads of the hand, not on the wrists. Do some yeses and nos with your head, really relax it. And then we'll look on up at our hands and step walk or jump up. Boom. Inhale halfway, exhale deepen. Then bending the knees. Or keeping the legs straight, come on up into a nice standing Tadasana. So hands into prayer pose and then they rest down at our sides. Just feeling the stability of mountain pose for a breath or two. And feeling, so not just the stability, but feel the strength of the pose as you relax into it. And then another version of sun salutations. Up, out and down. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, deepen. This time we're going to step back with our left foot and hop a little forward, letting our left heel come to the ground, letting our left toes turn outward, and then reach on up towards the sky into warrior one. Hands forward. And then so we start with our hands together and let our left hand come across our body and come into warrior two. Now, feel that your bent leg is pushing outward, the right leg, pushing a little bit towards the back. So you open up that inner thigh. And then turn the right palm up and come into a peaceful warrior. And then we'll come all the way around, hands by the front foot and on either side of the front foot. And this time we're going to step straight back into plank or knee plank, whatever feels right for you. So from here, engage those core muscles, the belly, the tush, and the pelvic floor, and come down, all the way down to the earth. And then bring your hands down by your floating ribs and come on up into a gentle cobra. And actually, what we're going to do now is do a really easy up dog. So just come all the way up, straighten your arms, but stay on your knees. And if anybody wants to come all the way up onto just the tops of their feet, go right ahead. But all of us just do a nice gentle up dog. And then we'll come on all the way down and either curl our toes under or bend our knees and come up into downward dog. And just hold a downward dog, maybe for 2 or 3 breaths, that's all. And then we'll walk on up to our hands and inhale halfway, exhale deepen, and either bending the knees or keeping the legs straight. Roll all the way up and down to prayer. And I'm going to come over to the other side. And we'll do it on the other side. So inhale out and up. Exhale, lead with the heart. Inhale halfway. Bend your knees, step back with your right foot, bend into your left knee, turn your right toes out and ground that whole foot, getting the heel on the ground. And then we'll sweep up into warrior one. Bring your hands forward. So both palms are touching and you're facing straight ahead. And then you're going to slide your right arm down and across and come into warrior two. And maybe sink into that front knee a little bit more and then push gently out in that front knee. And then we'll turn the palm up to the sky, come into our peaceful warrior. And then circle our hands all the way out and down by our front foot and step back into full plank or knee plank. And slowly, slowly, slowly descend down. Nice. Then bring your arms behind you. Lift up your arms and legs, either one at a time or both at the same time, and come into locust, or a variation of locust. And then come down, and let's just do that easy up dog again. And you can just straighten your arms, coming onto your knees. If you want to make it a little more challenging, you can lift up your knees and just come onto the tops of your feet. But this feels good right now for me. So try not to sink into it, to keep your hips lifted a little bit. And then come back, curl your toes under, and come on back into down dog. Take a couple of breaths here. And this time we're just going to walk into the center of our mat and turn forward and put our hands on the ground, bending the knees, but walking the feet out. And so your hands are on the ground and you're walking your feet out into a nice wide angle for forward fold here. And maybe bend your elbows and come down a little bit deeper. Try to bring your hips over your heels or lined up with the heels. And then another thing that happens with this is we might have a feeling that our ankles are pushing out. See if you can pull in on the outer ankles and then lift up the arch of both feet, the arches of both feet. So that puts a lot of activity in the feet and the ankles. And then from here, hands on the small of your back and inhale, come slowly on. Ah. And then from here, let's turn our right foot in and our left foot out and just open up our arms nice and wide and come on into our triangle pose. So we're going to do something a little different with triangle pose today. We're going to let our upper hip come forward a little bit and let the upper arm kind of twist down. So we're like doing a half looking downward. So we're not looking all the way down. We're looking kind of with our body, our torso a little bit diagonal towards the earth. And then we'll come on back up through triangle and with our arms stretched out. And actually, we'll come down into triangle one more time. And what I'd like you to we've done this before. Press your front foot into the mat and feel that there might be a preponderance on one side of your foot. For me, it's my inner foot a little bit. And then we'll come lifting up into peaceful triangle or revolve triangle. And notice if where most of the weight or a little bit of more of the weight is on the other side of the foot. It is for me. It might not be for you. All good. And then we'll come on back and arms forward, hands on the hips, and just change the position of our legs and do the same thing on the other side. So left foot turned in and 45 degrees roughly, and then the right foot straight ahead, arms stretched out, and we'll come on into our triangle. But this time I'm going to bring that sense of where we really engage our muscles. So pull your feet apart, then pull them together, reach up for the sky, and then relax. Completely relax into the pose. Just feel what's going on. And we'll do that unusual little twisted down dog. So you're going to bring your left hip, your upper hip a little bit forward and your right arm over your head. So you're doing kind of making your torso somewhat diagonal. And then from here, press your feet into the mat and we'll come on back up. And then we'll come on down again and focus on where the weight is in this front foot. It may feel different than the other side. And then we'll turn our right palm up. Come on up. And see if the weight has shifted on our foot. Beautiful. And then come on down. And let's do another forward fold here. So inhale, lift up on your heart. Exhale, come on forward. Come down, relax your head. And then just bend into your right knee and come back. Walk your hands over to that right foot, towards that right foot. And then back to center and over to the other side. Nice. And then feeling nice stretch in the inner thigh there. And then come on back, hands on the hips, on the hands on the small of the back. Press in. And come on up and heel toe your feet on in. And just a nice balance. We did a little bit of balance with our QiGong, but we'll do a little bit more here. And let's with this balance, we'll really feel like we're engaging those core muscles again. So lift on up. Lift up your knee, but you're lifting it up from the abs. So lift up your right knee, but lift it up from the lower body and even the tush. I mean, you can just lift it up like this, like almost like you're pushing your foot into the ground, but really feel like lifting it up from those abdominal muscles and pull that in. And then from here, hold it, open up. And so you open up the leg out to the side and you open up your arm out to the side. And come on back. And then we'll see if you can continue holding on the leg, the right leg with the left hand, and open up the arm. The right arm. Do a little twist. Come back and down. Nice. And then the other side. So again, we really want to feel that we're lifting up that leg from the abs. Lifting, 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 lifting. Pulling it in, pulling it in. A little help from our hands. And then grabbing hold of the outer, grabbing hold of the inner thigh. Open up, nice and wide. And then bring the right arm in and grab hold of the outer left leg and open up the left arm into a little twist there. Feel the breath support the pose. And then come on out of it. And let's just do our little sway again. And just to nurture our little toes, we'll come on up to our tiptoes. And then down. And now it's time to come on down to our backs. So come on down, onto your back. And in any way that feels right for you. You can, use a little bit of abdominal work if you want to slowly come down, or you just put your elbows down and come down easy does it. And then from here, just bring your knees on into your chest. And roll from side to side. We'll do our windshield wipers. We haven't done any windshield wipers today. So this almost feels like our little sway that we did with our QiGong. Just feeling a nice ease in your back as you let your legs come from side to side. So the next time they come on over to the right, hold that there and just put your right foot on your left thigh if that feels good for you. And walk and just let your head go back and forth a little bit until it finds the perfect position for your head. Maybe looking over your left shoulder, maybe looking straight ahead. Maybe looking over your right shoulder, but check into your neck. And just breathe into this. We're preparing for our relaxation, which is so wonderful. Nurturing and wonderful for us. You might feel as you let go, as you relax, that you actually get into the twist just easily a little bit deeper. And if your foot is on your thigh, remove it. Come back to center. And let your knees come on over to the left. And let your left, if you want, it feels good for you. If it doesn't, don't do it, of course. Let your left foot come on your right thigh. And then find the perfect position for your neck. Really check in. This weekend I did a retreat, an online retreat, and mindfulness. One of the most important ways to cultivate mindfulness is to stay in your body. Feel what's going on in your body, going on in your body. Feet, hands. This is actually evidently the Buddha was asked, what was one instruction that you could give to us? What would the most important one be? And he said, mindful of your body. That's when we're mindful of our bodies, we stay present with ourselves. So wise. Hundreds of thousands of years to develop these bodies, if not millions. And then when you're ready, come out of the twist and set yourself up for deep relaxation. Finding the perfect position for you. Either legs straight, on your back, your legs straight, maybe something under your feet. If you want to bend the knees, just collapse it towards each other. Traditionally, arms are at the sides, the palms facing position that feels perfect. Every breath, let go. Your body, that exhale. Feel that letting go of your fingers. Behind your knee. Thank you. Whole body. So you can stay here if you like. Perhaps we're going to start ending the practice by just encouraging you to move your fingers and toes and hands and feet. Find a nice way to come on up to a comfortable sitting position. Or like I said, just stay in Shavasana a little bit longer. All just bring a smile to our face, remembering that smiling is the most basic kind of peace work. Peace work. All love peace in our lives. The more we cultivate peace within ourselves, the more we cultivate peace. So thank you all so much for joining me, and lots of fun. And all the very best. Have a wonderful week. Namaste.